So we get a lot of emails, and one came in recently from Ford who asked us if we'd like to review a car, and we're like, nah, I've never reviewed a car before. Have you?
Nah.
Do you know how to do it?
No idea.
I also have no idea, and so we wrote back and we told them so, and they were like, do you want to have a crack at it anyway?
Yeah, it's like, what's the worst that can happen?
It's the most frightened I've ever been in my whole life.
Me too.
I got adrenaline. It's freezing cold. There's snow
cold.
everywhere. They're landing the helicopter to set up a drone, so...
Filming helicopter with a drone, man.
I know, it's
Pretty out
epic.
there.
Let the adventures begin.
So New Zealand, that sort of came up because, well, it's actually the biggest selling car in New Zealand, not just four-wheel drive, biggest selling car. Our understanding was that Ford wanted to kind of show it off, not only in that market, but also because the land is just spectacular and it'd be a good place to go.
And we love New Zealand anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, that's way better than like, do you want to go to Penrith and like drive over a speed bump?
Yeah, I mean, and
We've done that before.
This is not a sports car, so like really just taking it to a track and going, oh look, it goes around a track. Well, it'll never do that, but will it go through farms and bushland and stuff? Yeah. So
That is crazy that of all the vehicles, that is their number one selling car. Like that's crazy, isn't it? But I reckon it's because New Zealand people are awesome and they're resourceful and they like doing stuff. So step one, get on a plane and head to New Zealand.
How are you feeling, Martin? 4 o'clock body clock time.
Yeah, it's a bit of jet lag here at the moment. Come good though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's going to be alright.
yeah.
Amazing.
Stupidly scenic here.
Yes, it is.
Stupid. How scenic it is.
I don't know about the world, I haven't driven all the driving roads in the world, but I can tell you that these roads are unlike anything that's in Australia that I've experienced.
we're about to get a helicopter, but the only way you can access some of the places we're going to is via helicopter.
You love helicopters, don't you, Marty?
Love them. Attempt to go in them wherever possible, like wherever legally possible. None of this Grand Theft Auto, go to the helipad, steal it. I mean, like, you've never been in one though,
I
have
had
you?
never been in a helicopter and I was like,
You're gonna love it or
I
hate
don't know
it.
anything about them.
It's like, imagine a fast car, but it goes up and down as well.
Okay.
Yeah, they're really light and flimsy, and they move around a lot more than you expect.
Okay.
And they're scary, can be.
Are we still talking about helicopters? You might be worried about flying in helicopters? A little bit. Thanks, man. Such a weird feeling. 240 kilometres an hour it was going. It is relatively smooth actually considering the speed. Today we've got it's a bit of a treat, Martin. We've got a full day of recce just to kind of get our locations. We start shooting properly tomorrow.
Which is cool because there's a lot going on here. It's a proper wilderness area. Like this is not fake. Like this stuff is the real deal and we're in the absolute middle of nowhere.
A bit of a drive today to work out some of the shots that we can get tomorrow. So pumped to start getting filming, but now we've got to go and do a little bit of four-wheel drive training because we've never done it. to go, Marty.
Fucking diffs, not with a welder this time, with a button.
We are about to go and do some test runs of jumping out of the helicopter.
There's a lot of like safety concerns and stuff to make sure you do it properly.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something, I've never jumped out of a helicopter before. The helicopter's just going to be landing with only one fin. What do you call it?
Skid.
Fin?
It's a good name for it.
Good skids and mad skids. Anyway, so we've got to go and do a couple of practice runs of that.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Wow.
So that guy that just threw the snowball at our camera is one of the owners of Minaret Station, and he was the absolute ultimate man's man. He was catching food.
He knew how to jump out of helicopters.
Their family owns those helicopters, right? Like they own the business of those helicopters. So now that we've done our practice, the day dawned on us that we knew that we were going to have to jump out by ourselves without anybody kind of helping us and without anyone saying, you know, make sure you sit here and stand there and do whatever.
I didn't sleep that well the night before.
I didn't either. I actually had a nightmare.
The area that you could safely position yourself on that didn't slope away was the size
As big
of
as
this
this
lounge.
couch. Yeah, literally. It was tiny.
Yeah.
And so one of his things as well, and you can see it in the shots, was like, once you hit the deck because it's so windy, grab onto whatever rocks you can. So I grabbed onto this one rock and it was just shale. It just like fell off in my hand. And he's like, if you can't do that, you have to grab onto each other. So you can see actually at the start of like our film, there's this bit where the helicopter's taking off and we're like, ah, like holding onto each other, mainly because we care for each other and we decided if we're going to go together. That's not true at all.
And then he told me just afterwards that, by the way, you have to stand up and shut the door. And one of the problems with that was one of the first times that we jumped out as a practice, I kind of forgot. And so I was already jumping out going, yes, I'm not dead. And then I had to get up again and go and like find the door. And literally you can feel as you're shutting the door that you're moving the helicopter.
Yeah, because it was not landed on the side of that.
Weight.
It's literally
hovering.
just there.
It's hovering.
And at the same time, you've got this like that. It was freezing up there, like coldest we've ever been. Like I was, it was freezing. But we did it.
If you're a seasoned heli skier person or something, you've done it a million times, it probably doesn't look that scary. If you've never done it,
Frightening.
full on.
They're really good yesterday. You're like land crabs when you're out there, and that's the thing.
Some crazy shit, dude. That's the most frightened I've ever been in my whole life. Me too. I got adrenaline. It's freezing cold. There's snow everywhere. Now the helicopter's going to come back down. We're going to get back on it. They're going to set up the drone, then we get out and do it again. Multiple angles, my friends.
Literally a metre away is a drop of just hundreds and hundreds of metres. Dead. Hundreds. Dead.
It's been rehearsed, it's been practiced, we've got a support crew.
And we've got to stay down, we've got to make sure we're flat out. Like all these things, we're not doing anything silly.
It's always interesting when we're traveling around filming because when we go through security, they quite often find some strange things in our bag. We did have the same thing when we arrived in New Zealand. They wanted to have a look through our bags because we brought with us quite a large, a sizable prosthetic hand.
And it's actually very difficult to find a prosthetic hand. Like, where do you buy one?
You did manage to find a hand because I was like, we need to take a big hand with us.
Yeah.
And where did you find it, Marty?
I ended up finding one at a shop, and the lady at the shop didn't blink an eye when I said I did this hand, and I had that moment where I'm like, do I explain what I'm going to do with this, or do I just let it go? Because I'm
what
sure
she thought you were going to do with it was...
She sold lots of them, I'm sure, and that was not the biggest one they had.
Really?
No, there was bigger ones, but
they come in different colours
fit
as well?
in our luggage, man. But yeah, it did raise some eyebrows.
We had a variety of different things that when Marty was fly fishing, he caught all sorts of different stuff. Just in the edit, those things didn't end up making it in there, but we kept the hand in there as a reference to... There's no reason, there's no reference. We just wanted a big prosthetic hand.
You can do it!
What are you doing?
I'm just opening up another one of these.
That is so gross.
The other prosthetic that we have has actually got bones and stuff coming out of it.
We're used to doing things just by ourselves, so with all of our Mighty Car Mod series, it's just us on screen and us behind the camera and doing the music, doing the editing, doing absolutely everything. For this, a project of this scale, we need to get some help, so we took 2 friends with us, which is still the definition of a skeleton crew. There's literally 2 of us on screen and then 2 of our friends.
Often in like productions of this sort of scale, you can have up to 20 or 30 people all standing around and watching.
We wanted to try and like take the piss of like those shows where they're like, I'm out here in the bush by myself, but someone's filming you, so you're obviously not. So we had this part where we kind of revealed the crew, who were pretty pissed actually that we had to rough it for the night. And so there was a little bit of reality in there.
I think that you're joking when you say, oh dude, we're going to do survival stuff. I'm like, oh, he's going to do some gag about surviving. It's like,
No,
you're serious.
Yeah.
You're into it. And he's been
course
into
I
this
am.
for years. It's like your little survival kit you brought and lent us to ride, that wasn't new either.
That lives in my car, man, everywhere I go.
I know, I'd seen you do like 3 cars ago.
It's not a joke. I'm really proud that we managed to create something that I reckon looks, you know, as good as anything you would see on telly, and with a total crew of 2 people and 2 of us on screen. One of the things a lot of people had asked us about is how we got that film effect at the end. And well, the answer is probably simpler than some people may have imagined. We shot it on a film camera. So I'm a massive fan of old school film cameras. I've got a couple of vintage cameras, including a Bolex from the 60s. So this was shot on a spool of 8mm film, which was then put inside a light-proof case and then shipped off to be developed, which took about 4 weeks. So that was shot legitimately on an 8mm camera. Then by hand, it was developed, and then the film was telecine, so transferred to digital, and then those files sent back to us and then put in the edit, and that's how we got that mad film look. No, it was not a plug-in for the iPhone.
So some of the challenges of a shoot of this scale, particularly things where you are jumping out of helicopters, you've got a limited amount of time for those kind of resources, you've got, you know, mates filming it that only also have a limited amount of time to help you, is that you can't really afford to get stuff wrong. Like, you got to be so organized. Like, what happens to a GoPro at 250 k's an hour with a helicopter? Well, you find out pretty quickly. All those kind of little things that just add layers of complexity rather than just shooting on a driveway or something and going, oh cool, we'll just do it again. It's like, there's no doing it again if you get that wrong.
Even though there was only 4 of us total as production crew, there was also a couple of people there who were helping us as in local fixers. There was also the helicopter team.
And the post-production, editing, all the finishing, all that kind of stuff, this guy.
Are you cool with this? I'm not cool with this at all, mate. Dude, you promised us marlin.
Hey, the drone survived.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Amazing. It hit a tree and then hit a rock and almost drowned, but it's all good.
Wow.
We got a bit too confident getting amazing shots. Broke
Worth
a little part. We're gonna Mighty Mods style DIY fix it.
Oh, really?
Of course we are.
We're going to use cable ties and bodily fluid. That's a wrap, everybody. Thank you very much. Jed, cameraman, Martin, he tried to catch a fish, and Blake, of course, our cameraman and our pilot. And this is it.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Oh, yes! Woo!
We jumped out of a helicopter. We drove a Ford Ranger. We had a good time.
Can I just say, this guy's brake job, I know it's on gravel, but that brake job, that was so good. He's like, I'm just gonna do some more testing on the car, and next minute there's just this brake job for 200 meters. It was really cool.
Thanks, Martin. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. I am hungry.
Really?
Yeah.
I really feel like a custard tart.
Yeah, I've got a bit of custard tart.
Yeah?
No,
Did you eat it?
I ate it.
Oh, come on, man.